Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are going to be watching this video from. This is your friend Okoyemi TV in the School of Learning and Development. How are you doing today? So today I will be talking about a particular role in the M365 admin environment, which is known as the User Experience Success Manager role, the user experience success manager role. Now, this is a particular role that's actually very important and is handy for every organization, at least to give maybe probably the team lead this particular role. So what does this role does now? It helps is a role that helps organization improve user engagement, training and support by leveraging the usage insight and feedback. Okay, so now this particular user experience success manager role has and access of high level organization worldwide data that helps to identify where user may need help or additional training, okay, which include maybe for example if you give a team lead now, so that team, let's say the IT team lead now, so the IT team lead will now be in charge, will now be look at, okay, how are users using our resources in the organization? Is it really helping them? Are they really getting a go with it? So once you assign this role to that particular person, the person has that permission to be able to read. So this person can read purchase services. The person can read the message center post. The person can read the network performance data. The person can read the organizational messages. Okay, so that this particular role helps what to improve, the organization. Okay, it helps to improve the organization, also helps what are the users in an organization. Okay, so when you assign this particular user experience success manager role to whoever you need in your organization, okay, like I said, it helps to track organizational usage trend, okay, and then view product feedback, then engagement, it monitor the message center post and services. Okay, so it just helps this it helps to increase the performance of the usage of your product in your organization. Okay, now, so who can you assign this particular role to? So the particular role can be assigned to the IT support manager. This role can be assigned to a training enablement coordinator, or maybe the communication lead, the service delivery managers. Okay, so this helps them to track what service health, usage metrics, and to ensure consistent performance and user satisfaction. Okay, so now let me go to my portal. So this is my M365 environment portal. Now, so if you come up here now, look at it now. So this is the row here. So this is it in the Microsoft documentation. So if you look at this particular row now, you can see have user experience success manager. Okay, now when you assign this role to someone, like I said earlier on, you can assign it to a service delivery manager, to IT support manager, or the training enablement coordinator, okay, in an organization. So now this is what they are going to have access to. So they are not having access to, they are not going to be doing anything technical. Their own is just to improve the users what are how users use the product in your organization, so they can also tailor training, so they can see where people are lacking and then they can tailor training to them. Okay, now, so if you look at here now, you have read organizational level usage report for M365 app and services, but not user details. Okay, so they can view your organization product feedback, net promoter score, survey result, and help article view to identify communication and training opportunities. So they can have access to what? To the read message center post and service health. Okay, now look at it now. This is the scope. Now this is the action. Now when you assign this role to a user, now this is the scope they are going to be having access to. Okay, that is the scope. You can see here you have the microsoft.commerce.billing purchases standard. You can see that this is the major thing, which is what read. So which means that what this particular user can read purchase services in the Microsoft 365 admin center. Okay, now you have the message center. Said they can read messages in the message center in Microsoft 365 admin center, excluding security messages. Okay, so they are not doing anything technical. Now this is the scope of that particular role. When you assign that role to that particular user, that is the scope they are going to definitely have. Okay, like I said, this role is good for an IT lead or service delivery managers. Okay, so when you assign that role for them, it helps you to understand how the products are being used, how users make use of these products in your Microsoft 365 environment. Okay, now how do you now assign this particular role to a user? How do you assign that role to a user? Now I'll go to my M365 environment. Now come up here. This is my M365 environment. You know how to go there. You just type your admin.portal.cloud.microsoft, or you can type admin dot Microsoft, okay, .com. So now you come up here. I'll come to my active user. I will apply that role. Let me give it to this user a demo. So I'm going to assign that role to this user. So I'll come up here, manage role, click on that. So there are different ways you can assign a role to a user. So I'll come up here and say admin center access. I'll come up here and this is the role here. I'll just click on it and I'll click on save. Now I've assigned this role to this particular user. Okay. Now this is the scope of what that user will have. Okay, in that particular role. Okay. So now let's now see how it works. Let me just refresh to make sure that the role has been assigned to the user. I'll just refresh it now and then go back to the user. I'm just going to close this one, go back to the user at demo this. So now you can see that it now has that particular role assigned to them. Okay, now I'm going to log in with this user. Let me just bring out my browser. I'm just going to bring out another browser and then log in with that user. So I'll come up here and type admin.microsoft.com. You press your enter. So now I'm going to sign in to that user with their email, which is Ade Moses. Okay, so I'm just going to sign in to that user. Come up here, sign in, and then you come up here, you put in the password, enter the password of that user. Click on sign in, and now once you do that, so the authenticator, I'll go to my MFA. I'll do that now. So once you do that, now you will see what this user is going to. So now this is not the environment. Now you can see, if you click on show all, you can see what this user has access to, the admin center, which is the identity. If you come up here, you have reports. Okay, from what we read, if you go back, let me just minimize. If you go back to this one here, you can see that these are the scope that user is going to have access to. You're able to read purchase service in Microsoft 365 environment. You're able to read the message centers. Okay, so that is for that. So I'll go back. Now if you come up here and I click on report here, if you come up here, click on your adoption scores. So if you click on here, okay, so this user can still come and say, okay, let's see what is the trend. What are the trend of, maybe, or let's, for example, you want to look at the report of the apps. Okay, if I come up here, click on this report here, click on this report, I'll click on usage. So under this usage, you have the exchange environment, you have all these the teams and so on. If I click on my SharePoint, now it's going to bring me what, see here, it's going to show me how this thing has been used, how users have been making use of this particular my M365 product in that organization. So what is the purpose of this particular role to this user? Is just to be able to what to see the trend on how users make use of this product, and then they can now, if there is need for to tailor a training, so they will know how to organize that to make them know how to make use of this application better. Okay, if you click on this place here, you can see the channels messages, you can see chat messages, you can see one-on-one, you can see the trend. Okay, here, so this person has access to all this data. Why? Because he or she has the user experience role manager. Okay, so we come up here, you see if you say exchange environment, you can see email app usage, mailbox usage. So you can see that now. So can you see that this is amount of storage used? Okay, you can see here. So you can see it's quite very important. So if you go back again, come up here, the person can check what the health service. Okay, and see what is going on in that place. So that is just the job of this person, to just make sure that things are going right. Why? Because he or she has access to that role. But like I said, it's not a technical role. The person cannot configure anything or do it, just to be able, the has was read. If you go back to the scope, if you go back here, you can see all the scope here is to read, 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 track. See, read, read. So you see that. So this person cannot configure anything. It's just to read, and then they can now give reports at the end of the day. This is the message center. If you come up here, so you can see here, the person can see, okay, what is going on with most of these products in the Microsoft Exchange. You can look at, if you look at it, here, November 4th, 2025, Outlook for Android support PDF attachment preview. So you can see that now. So person can see a whole lot of things. So because the admin cannot be doing all this for productivity's sake, so you just need to assign this particular role to someone. It's either the team lead or the service delivery manager can have that particular uh, role. Okay, and then they can able to do things on their own. So if I go back here, identity, this will take me straight to my Entra ID environment. So you can see if they come up here, they come up here, what they will have access to, they will have access to. If I come up and say conditional access, you will not have access to do anything here. You can see that person will not have access to do anything because they have no business with that. Okay, so if you come up here, identity score, you can see now, you said you must be assigned one of the following role to view this. So can you see that now? So you can see. So this is actually very good. So they are restricted to what they can do. The major aim is just to view what is happening, and then they can they can understand the pattern, and then give feedback at the end of the day. So if I go back here, so if you go back here now again, if you come to this place and click on the organizational messages, so you can see this is what they will have all access to be able to do. So that is what that role actually does for whoever you give access to that particular role. Okay, so I do hope you have now understand the user experience success manager role. Okay, so I don't mind, can just put your comment, drop your comment on the comment section, and let me know what you think about this particular role. Do you think it's worth assigning this role to someone to do that, or you feel the admin should be able to do that? Okay, so yeah, so let's interact, let's have a chat and see if you feel this particular role is worth it, or is worth the time. Okay, so that is for that. Okay, I do hope you have learned one or two things from this particular short video. Okay, so I remind your friend Okwemi Steven in the School of Learning and Development. If you are an upcoming subscriber, we would want you to click on that notification button subscribe, comment, share, like, and if you are one of us already, just you know what, you know how we do it. Just click on that thumbs up, like, share, and then do comment. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and I will see you in some other videos. I remain your friend of Miss TV in the School of Learning and Development. Bye bye for now. Thank you.